We're live, folks. Fire Frank back. Charlie, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing good.
It's been a while, guys. It's been a while, guys. I know we don't think we've talked since we had that big preview for that big Memorial Day weekend mega pay-per-view random marathon weekend. We're not going to be discussing that. Obviously, that was too long ago. So we'll just get into the news of the week here. Obviously, if you saw the title here, this past Saturday in Chicago, we saw certain return. Charlie, do you know the Muffin Man?
I know the Muffin Man.
Yeah, the Muffin Man was back in Chicago. That's for sure. Sorry, I stole that joke. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, yeah, we got debut of Collision Chicago. CM Punk returns, opens the show with a promo. Actually, I should talk about Friday. There was this all the story about this ESPN interview, which we still haven't actually seen. It was a report. They didn't actually put up the video of the interview. There was all this talk about rubbing people the wrong way, all this stuff. But the quotes that came out, it didn't really seem too crazy. What did you think of all that?
It seemed a lot more tame than everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly they might have edited some of that, but I mean, with all the gag orders and lawsuits, apparently they're just going to sue if he says a certain thing. I didn't expect too much out of that. Seemed like the gist of it was, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Mistakes were made. Let's try to do business here again.
Yeah,
as we've been talking about for how many months on the show. So yeah, he comes back. Chicago obviously gets a big pop there. This promo he cuts. What do you think of this promo? It was very typical Punk. Obviously, it wasn't more than we would expect.
Unfortunately, I DVR'd it and didn't watch the promo. I wasn't expecting him to come out aside from his match. So you're gonna have to go over what he said in the promo.
Yeah, I was a little behind myself. I had to go back and catch it because I didn't. My DVR wasn't actually recording. I thought I had said it, but yeah. So he came out, big pop, holding a mysterious bag. What could be in it? Yeah, the gist of the interview, I'm sure everybody's seen it already, but he was dropping little inside things there. It wasn't anything too harsh. Talking about counterfeit bucks, talking about talking to fans. No, only one softer than the fans or the wrestlers they cheer for, something like that. Little things. Yeah, I don't know. It was a typical Punk bar. You can make anything sound good. We know. But as far as stuff he's done before was pretty tame, I thought. But it did his job. Basically saying, I'm back. I'm here to do business. Referring to the fact that he never lost a title, so we can guess what was in that bag, which he didn't show. But,
there you go.
Basically, which I didn't think about, which, he is an uncrowned champion. So, I mean, you could do a little something with that. If he just starts, he has it in the bag. If he starts taking out and carrying around his titles, since obviously he still thinks of himself as the champ, you can go that way. It came across as, yeah, it was weird. Shameless correct. Bucks and Omega aren't booked for Diamond Collision this week. I wonder why. Tonight in Chicago again. Yeah, back to back in the same city. Here we go.
They're keeping their distance. That's for certain.
I don't know. Yeah, it started. If everybody heard the interview, Punk basically said it's all like we said months ago when we brought this up for the first time. All this stupid people back and forth talking to the dirt sheets, little digs here and there. All it would have taken is some guys to sit down and talk, or maybe having a boss that would actually tell them, "Hey guys, knock it off." But none of that was done. So we've got
they have a boss that adds fuel to the fire. They don't.
Yeah, he likes it. He's playing them off each other at this point.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't believe that they haven't hashed this out already. I don't think he would have been on TV even like alluding to these people if they hadn't already, at least talk this out. I know there's a lot of talk about, they're not talking on their show. Is there a reason for that? I don't know. Jay Mel says AEW hire. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I hate to say I told you so, but, Yeah. I mean, we've had to create this whole second show for people that have been disappearing for months on end. Because apparently you couldn't show them on TV. We did see Miro come back after. Actually, also was out since All Out. Believe it or not, has not had a match, not been on TV outside of a brief glimpse of him until now. Weird stuff. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. A lot of these people just feel like just another guy. Yeah, so it was a little typical promo. They had later on. They had the 6-man, which is a pretty good match. Obviously, Punk didn't work as much in the match. It was more FTR, which you would expect.
I like that they worked Punk with Samoa Joe, though. That was good.
Yeah, obviously, that was a little callback to people who may have seen their earlier battles. So it was pretty neat. It was a nice main event. Show was, I'll say this, it felt a little bit different than Dynamite. I don't know what you thought. I know you said you didn't see the opening promo. The pacing, maybe. There was a lot more video package, a little less hectic. Obviously, with different announcers, we didn't have, Excalibur screaming 1,000 words a minute.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw Kevin Kelly on my TV screen.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly and Nigel, who apparently used to do Ring of Honor for many years, so they've had some experience together. Yeah, crazy to think how Kevin Kelly is now this respected commentator after starting the business. Probably most well known by me as being the guy that was there when Austin broke into Pillman's house, or the Rock just abusing him nonstop just because. Yeah. Poor guy. It did okay. He seemed a little like less familiar with some of the stuff, but of course, it's his first time working AEW, so it gave it a different feel. I like that it wasn't like going 1,000 miles a minute. There was some time to breathe between segments.
Yes.
You don't normally see in Dynamite, which if we're going to have a second show, make it different. So I'll give them that. They tried to make it different. There was a little more gaffes in production, which I was kind of shocked. Maybe it was a little bit of nerves. There was a little bit of some weirdness going on in there. Poor Kevin Kelly couldn't pronounce Andre El Idolo to save his life. Try to say that 5 times fast. He said it about 20 different ways. None of them was correct. They had a pretty good Andrade return. Another one returns. Buddy Matthews, or Buddy Murphy, as Dasha called him. NXT Habits Die Hard. That was a pretty good match. And then afterwards, we talk about gaffes. The lights go out, come back, and the camera's still zoomed in on the two of them. Meanwhile, the rest of the House of Black is in the ring ready to attack. So it was really bad. They had to cut back all of a sudden because it was a little bit of a weird gaffe there with the timing. So Troy, what did you think? You said you didn't see the promo. Did you see any of these undercard matches? What did you watch?
No, I just went straight to the 6-man tag.
You just went straight to the 6-man. Okay, you got. I want to know. I want to talk more notes on this. Well, yeah, Miro had a bit of a 4-minute match. He looked good. Obviously, I said Andrade and Buddy had a nice little match. Had a couple commercial breaks during it that kind of hurt it. A lot of picture-in-picture tonight. Yeah, it felt different, but like I said, the main event was fun. Obviously, Punk gets the pin this week. Tonight, he should be showing up on Dynamite, as we said. Mysteriously, the leader nowhere to be found. Yeah, what would you think of that?
Punk's never been cut or sculpted, so.
I mean, he said during his last run he was just doing cardio. It looked more like he was a little more flabby. I didn't think he looked like out of shape, but
no,
he doesn't look like he's been like going too hard in the gym. And I can't blame him. This guy's been injured just from basic things. The guy's had 2 injuries in his last 3 matches, so he had to take it a little bit easier here. From what I understand, they checked him out after the match just to be sure, but he was fine. Yeah, be interesting to see because during his initial run, I thought they were putting him in the ring on TV way too much. He's somebody that should be saved.
So wait, they're gonna have Punk on Dynamite and Collision?
I guess so. It looks like he's there tonight. Obviously, it makes sense in Chicago.
I might actually watch.
I don't know what he's going to do. They didn't announce any matches. There's some talk about we still don't know who he's facing at the pay-per-view. I don't know from the looks of it. They planned on him facing Kenta, but they never actually asked Kenta. So, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things. Tony Khan's got a lot of other stuff to do. Apparently didn't have time to call people and book them in matches. We'll see about that. I mean, the card itself, it's basically built around a couple dream matches, and the rest is just kind of fill in. I'm sure tonight we'll fill in some more random stuff to fill out the rest of the card.
It's still only like 3 announced matches for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, we've got like your major matches, and they've still kind of talked about. Yeah, we've got. I can bring up the card in a second. Yeah, I'm assuming tonight they'll fill out the rest of the card. At least you would think so. I don't think they're going to wait till I would say Rampage, but nobody watches that. Collision.
Now, how do you feel as someone that's making the trip to know that there's only 3 announced matches so far?
Yeah, good point. I'll be honest. I'm looking forward more to our pre and post party forbidden pour than anything else. But I mean, the matches that are announced look pretty good. Obviously, me as not being the biggest New Japan viewer, but kind of initially anybody, even a casual viewer is interested in that. We have, of course, Jungle Boy getting a shot at the IWGP title because I guess nobody else was willing to lose to their champion. So, yeah, so Jungle Boy, that should be interesting. I'll pull up the card in a second. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. You know, a live show like that, it's always gonna be fun. I mean, last year's they didn't have a lot of hype, and it turned out pretty good. I thought. Forbidden Door. We've got, of course, I thought it was even funnier. We have Collision last week. They hyped all this stuff, and we got nothing for this week yet. Maybe tonight they'll just do a hard sell. But
probably,
yeah, I might be going to that, but we're not buying tickets anytime, so we're gonna wait a little bit, obviously, on that. Let me see if I can pull up any of this card for you. What does the chat think? What are we thinking today? Let's see. Let me pull up this match. I'm going to pull up the list right now, but I want to know what everybody's thinking out there. Okay. Yeah, we only got 4 announced matches. You're right. Still.
Wow.
So we've got Omega Ospreay for the U.S. title from New Japan. We've got Jado Okada in a singles match. Sonata defending IWGP title against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, with Cook in his corner for some reason. And MJF is facing Tanahashi because, sure, why not? Yeah, that's all we've got so far. We've got 3 days left. Yeah, this is more of a concept show. This isn't exactly, you know.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that WWE is interested in Hook and Taz wants him to go there?
I did hear that. Yeah, let's talk about that. What does everybody think of that? Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting person. Like, they brought him in, they built him up pretty well, and then he's just kind of been there for the last year after his initial push. I mean, he's still undefeated. They still featured him, but they seemingly featured him a little bit less lately. Now we're apparently going back to this pairing with Jungle Boy since they seem to not know what to do with him right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder who exactly is interested. Who are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I know Taz obviously probably why Taz is thinking that, hey, he's going to get lost in the shuffle here. Maybe a change of pace would help him. I don't know. He's still very new to this. He's impressed so far, but I just don't know how they would, how would you present him? I mean, he's basically just, this is Taz's son, and he doesn't talk much, and he beats up people. I don't know if it's going to work without not that he has his dad with him now, but I'm just saying I don't know how it would work. But there's a lot of people they're going to be looking at. There's a lot of contracts coming up, a lot of big names coming up.
Good.
Some EVP's contract coming up possibly. So, yeah, sometimes a change of pace is good. Changes bad. Look what Cody's done. Anyway, yeah. So, what is everybody looking forward to this weekend? What's the match you're looking forward to? And we've got 4 matches announced. Let's see what Tim is saying. Excited for the guy. Well, yeah, they've actually made their on TV debut kind of in the background. So, yeah, a lot of new recruits at NXT definitely coming out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens on Dynamite tonight. Obviously, the hard sell for the pay-per-view, but it's going to do well. It's a competitive show, like I said. This is like a real for your real, hardcore internet fans that watch a lot of New Japan. So,
oh yeah,
it's fine. Last year was a really good show. It's going to draw. It's in a good market in Toronto. They're hungry for wrestling, so this is a good weekend there, and I'm sure I'm going to have a good time. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of NXT, NXT last night we had Seth Rollins defend his title on NXT. I don't think you saw it, but
yeah, I just watched. I only watched Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins when I woke up.
So what'd you think?
It was a good match.
Yeah,
I like that Seth is a ruling and defending champion.
I like the going back and forth, setting guys down there. Integration, it's smart. They started doing a little bit and they stopped. I think it's a good idea, especially for people like Rollins who's came through that system already. So it's a bit of a homecoming. Crowd was really hot for it. I mean, Breaker. What can we say about Breaker? Now that he had his heel turn, he's pretty much 100% ready, right? I don't know about you, but I think you can call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
it didn't take him very long. He's clearly more comfortable in this role, although he can play babyface just fine on Fighting Champion. He did that very well, but this guy doesn't need a lot more seasoning. So I think it's pretty much a matter of time. I don't think we're waiting till next year's draft.
No,
we'll see what happens. Obviously, we got another NXT PLE coming up. Great American
probably
Bash.
after SummerSlam would make sense.
Yeah, I'm assuming he'll have one more match there. You know, they still have this feud with Dragunov on the cooker, but yeah, good match. Hung in there with Rollins, who's obviously one of the top guys out there, as we always talk about. It was nice, a nice little. Actually, the show stuff is kind of uneven, but that was a good main event. They got some stuff built for next week. Obviously, I like how they continued the Raw angle. We had with Balor attacking again at the very end, which I was wondering if they were going to do, and sure enough, he does. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like we've really tried to reheat Balor over the last 2 weeks, and they've kind of built something out of nothing here. Got kind of a hot world title program coming up for Money in the Bank, so you know that's going to get crazy reactions in London.
Hopefully, they can keep Balor elevated even after a loss to Seth Rollins. But
yeah, I mean they're teasing a lot of dissension with Judge Bay. I don't know what we're doing here, but there's been a lot of dissension there with Priest and Balor, so I don't know where we're headed towards.
Yeah,
he's teased little talking to JD McDonough backstage. I don't know if they're going to go off and do something on their own, but yeah, Balor getting elevated, obviously always nice. Doesn't take much. The crowds will be hot for that match in London. It's going to be crazy. Obviously, like we said, Seth is just doing the Fighting Champion thing as well as we knew he would. He's over wherever he goes. He brings up the quality of everything else. Yeah, other than that, yeah, Raw was pretty interesting this week. We've got our field set now for Money in the Bank. And we don't want to say we told you so, but a certain someone has entered the field.
I told you so.
You told you so. Yeah, even though last week I think we were like, oh, well, I think they filled all the slots. You're like, no, I still think this man's going to show up. Obviously, Logan Paul now entering.
If he wins, shit's going to go crazy.
He should win. There's no reason. Why shouldn't he win? Why shouldn't he win? Why can't you put a title on him within the next 6 months? You can. Why can't you? That was a kind of fun segment. What did you think about that? That promo he cut. He gets it now. He's able to hang in there. I thought he did better on the mic than some of the guys he was dealing with. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
I liked his extra promo that they cut on WWE.com. He's like, fuck him. He's like, you're gonna bleep that out? I'll say it again. Fuck him.
Nonchalant, just playing off everybody. Butch comes out. I don't even know who that is. That's pretty funny. He's just good at the ad-libbing and stuff. He's just playing himself. He's hot as a heel. So yeah, put it on him. Well, I mean, what else are we gonna put it on? I know you talked about not being excited about this field, but now that he's been added to the match, I think your excitement is up again.
It changed drastically.
It changed everything. You know, him and Ricochet still having a bit of a beef there. We can always see that match maybe at SummerSlam.
He's sick.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I mean, I could see them having a match at SummerSlam. That's for sure.
Yeah,
they built up something. Just stay away from the mic, Mr. O'Shea, please. Help us all out. Obviously, yeah. So you have to consider him one of the favorites right now. Obviously, LA Knight getting huge pops everywhere he goes, Raw or SmackDown. Getting louder too, as a matter of fact.
Down to LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul.
Right, and Logan Paul should win, as we talked. He didn't get to win the Rumble this year because he was hurt, so he should win this. But yeah, Knight, what can you say about Knight? I mean, they're gonna have to turn this guy babyface any second now. He's getting even when he's like fighting other guys that the crowd likes, they're getting behind him. I mean, I'm not too surprised, but I'm kind of surprised how fast it's developed. But he's pretty much, like I said, since his days in Impact, he just gets over when he talks. You just get the guy a mic, he's gonna get over. It doesn't take him much, and he's more than competent in the ring. Like I said, he's no slouch. Priest, obviously, they're building up. That could be an interesting choice. He had that title match on Raw a couple weeks ago. Yeah, other than those three, I don't know who else you can do unless you're going to throw another surprise person in there. I know JML was suggesting Drew. I don't know. Drew was on the milk carton again. Not sure where he's been. Besides showing up on the Most Wanted Treasure show last week, but that show was kind of outdated because this week we had Dominic and Ray together because it was obviously taped last year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, they taped that a little before.
A little odd to be putting on now, but
yeah, he was getting all excited about the low rider. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I enjoy that show. Yeah, it's a little fake, but I like it. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess we should go back. Well, we talked about Raw. We talked a little bit on NXT. Obviously, the biggest storyline in WWE, we know it continues to be the Bloodline. A lot of people were like down on it lately. Oh, it's over the point here. What's going on? We're dragging this out. But over the last couple of weeks, we definitely got a big kickstart on that.
Oh yeah.
We missed like I said, last 2 weeks. Obviously, the first. Did we talk about? No, we didn't even get to talk about that because we haven't been on since Night of Champions, right? So yeah, so obviously Night of Champions, Jimmy just super kicks Roman. They teased it the last couple of weeks. You know, he's leaving. What is Jay going to do? Roman's like, he's going to fall in line. He's going to fall in line. In the last couple of weeks on SmackDown, these closing segments, man, jeez, that's all you need to watch. That's all I had to see on that show. The rest of the show I can do or not, whatever. But that last Oscar summit. I mean, if these guys don't get an award for something, I don't know who does. If they had the Slammies, they'd be winning acting of the year. So obviously this week we saw Jay and Jimmy in the ring. And what do you think about all this stuff? Why don't you talk about it? I'm sitting here talking over myself. What do you think, Charlie? What did you like about that segment?
I thought once again Jay was the MVP of it all. When he said that he's out of the bloodline, that he said Jimmy's out of the bloodline, and then he is too, and super kicked Roman.
The timing on that, right? It was just like he had me going there for a second.
Yeah,
it was like, where are we going with this? But yeah, he turns around, just kicks him, and I like the realism they inserted into this, talking about he's the older brother. I know by a few minutes. We can all. I think everybody can probably relate to that somehow. If you have any siblings,
calling him Joshua, going the extra mile there was awesome.
Calling himself by his own name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joshua Uso, of course. Yeah. At least he didn't say. At least he didn't say John, aka Jimmy Uso. But yeah. Listen to your older brother Joshua. You got to be more like him. And then he just kicks him. So now, obviously, we have a split. And we've already got the match announced for Monday next week. And I don't blame him. Why hold it off? Let's just go right to it right here. London crowd's gonna be crazy. You don't need a title match on this show. You already got one with Seth, so this is gonna be wild. Yeah, I mean, last month we saw that title match main event. Yeah, it's gonna be bonkers. You're good. In fact, I would just main event with it. Obviously, they main evented Night of Champions with the tag match.
Definitely main event.
The crowd's gonna be insane for this. And you can go any way with this. Where are we going with this? So the Usos going to win. Will Roman get his win back? What is Solo going to do? That's the next drama here. Solo is obviously for now siding against his brothers, which is interesting. Maybe he's looking out for his own career.
You'll see Solo versus Roman soon enough.
Yeah, I think we're. You think Roman will bring anybody else in if he's losing all these people?
Question.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there. I mean, he could just hire some goons here to help him out.
Talk of the Usos bringing in Rikishi, but
yeah, he could. I just think that's the next step. We'll get through this match and we'll see what happens after. They could do a actually, what are we going to do for SummerSlam? Obviously, Roman's not defending here. He's got to be defending in SummerSlam.
Yeah,
who's he going to defend against? He's going to defend against Jay, Jimmy, triple threat.
I've heard Jay.
Just heard Jay. Okay. Obviously, that was the thing going back years. Yeah. But actually, the way Jimmy is now, which makes sense. If you've been following this around for the last 3 years, all the story beats are there. When Jay was first going through this and Jimmy was there for him, Roman made him quit by attacking him. Jimmy never really trusted him. Even when he came back, he said, "Hey, I'm not listening to you." But
we've had the Wild Samoans in this storyline, so who knows who's going to be next.
We were supposed to see them again. I know we didn't ever have that big celebration, but we could see it again. Roman versus Jay. Yeah, this is where it started, and this might be where it ends. But I thought it was interesting what this whole thing is done, but the way it's done made individual stars out of these two. Yep. Complete, two different personalities. They're no longer which one are you, as he once said. They're pretty much everybody knows who each one of them are.
Yeah,
and they've all stayed true to their characters.
JML got more towards Royal Rumble with that one.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we can ride this out. Like people are wondering how they're going to ride this out to Mania easily. 4 stars, yes, absolutely. And they're creating all these stars out of these guys. It's great. Roman doesn't even have to lose any of them. He can just retain. But I think the story is good. He's losing one by one, losing his backup. When he finally has nobody left, that's when he's going to lose, right? And I know there's been a lot of people still complaining about him retaining in Mania. We get it. We understand.
I'm
Keep
over
watching
it.
the story. I mean, I don't either, but I get it. Like, yeah, in the moment, it would have been like, but now looking back at hindsight, come on.
Yeah.
Can't see what's going on here, guys. The story wouldn't continue if he wasn't champion. It doesn't work like that. And you don't have him lose one belt and then lose again. It completely defends the point. That's when Paul turns. Exactly. When he no longer has that, yes, that's what we've been talking about for a long time. That's the end game. That's the end game. Once Cody gets there, you're going to think, okay, everything's great. He got his moment, and then we're going to slowly see his true colors show up. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. I do appreciate. Honestly, you'll probably get more honesty out of the show than most of the stuff you see online.
Yeah.
We're just going to tell you how we feel. We're saying this is our feelings. We're not calling it news like some like.
Facts.
But yeah. Yes, and that's the end game for sure. Once he loses everything, loses the title, that's all he's got left. Is to have his legend run. He'll be like the guy you can come around once in a while, put on a great match, legend for sure. I don't think we'll ever see a run like this we've seen over the last 3 years. Will we see something like this again? I don't know. Or have we even seen it before? I don't know. Definitely some of the best long-term storytelling we've seen in many years. Yes, you did. We talked about this well before any of this started falling apart, for sure.
The king of I told you so's.
We told you so. We should have said that'll be our first merchandise. Just we told you so. Yeah. So obviously we got Money in the Bank coming up. So it looks like the fields are all set. What do you? We already know what we said about the men's. What do you think about for the women's? It's hard to say because I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you've got Rhea's a really strong champion. Asuka is fighting Charlotte here. We don't know. She could always lose it. I hope not, but that could happen. Yeah, I don't know who to pick in that one. SummerSlam. Yeah. Edge has been conspicuous by his absence, so that would be a big match to have in Detroit for sure. Yeah, I don't know who to pick in women's match. It's interesting. It's almost like we've got Becky and the people who are fighting against her, and randomly, and then you've got Bayley and Io, and you've got
Does Raquel Rodriguez cost Becky Lynch the match after Monday?
Sure, why not?
Huh?
She has a gripe for sure.
Yeah.
Is that the heel turn we've been waiting for? Hey. Let's see what Jamal thinks. Are we saying Drew has zero chance of coming back in Money in the Bank? I wouldn't say zero.
Not zero, but I honestly wouldn't want to see them do what they did last year, pulling somebody into the match last second.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done that with Logan, but they would have decided to announce it.
Let Logan Paul have that invited entry in. Don't bring Drew into the same way.
I mean, I can see why he's saying that because it's to bring him back in a major way. Because right now, if he comes back, he's cold. He hasn't done anything. He wants to see Drew Seth. I think we all would like to see that.
That would be intense.
I think they did have one match when Drew was champion the last time, but that was during the empty arena era. We don't like to talk about that. Yeah, we got to do something. I don't know what's going on with Drew. We don't know what his contract situation is. I hope that they figure this out. I mean, it's always good to have change of pace, people to change the scenery. I just don't see Drew going somewhere else and becoming any bigger than he already was, to be honest. Definitely not going to AEW. He would just completely get lost in the middle of that already, like immediately.
Plus, Tony wouldn't be able to keep his mouth shut about that announcement. It would already leak.
Yeah, he'll just hype it up. Yeah, exactly.
Already leaked.
And where else is he going to go back? He's going to go back to Impact. What's he going to do? I don't see him leaving, but we'll see. Well, I hope he does show back up pretty soon because we'd like to see him involved for SummerSlam mix for sure. Yeah, I don't know what to pick about the women's match. I guess we'll preview that more in a couple of weeks before the show. And actually, JML again with a great point. Orton is coming back, maybe, apparently.
They're pushing for SummerSlam for Orton now.
And what do you do with him there? That's a good question.
I don't know.
What do you think? Do you do Seth Orton? Do you move him to SmackDown? I don't know. He wasn't drafted. We don't know what they're going to do. The crowd's going to want to cheer him. Rated Arcade Bro. Oh. Do you mean him and Edge? Or he rated RK Bro. Did you mean rated RKO? Well, one or the other for sure. If he shows back on Raw, he'll obviously have to have some kind of interaction with his ex-partner. But actually, I would like to see him and Edge team up again. Why not? They had a bit of a short run there. I'd like to see that. See some more of that. Some more of that. They got to do something with Orton. Obviously, he's not going to come back for nothing. So he has a lot of questions. Tired, bro. Yeah, I think we all are.
Sounds like Orange Cassidy.
Sounds like Orange Cassidy. JML's a busy man. Doing all these streams while in the process of moving across the country. I don't know how you're doing it, man. I have to finish the story. Yes. Since we can't have the Edge and Christian reunion, and I don't want to see Edge go to AEW as we've talked about. So, yeah.
No, that would be a horrible mistake if Edge went to AEW.
I just don't see the point of it.
That would be.
If he was going to do that, he would have done that already. But he doesn't have much time left. I don't think he's going to try to end it there. He wants to end it at the biggest possible spot. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be done this summer. I know he talked about maybe this summer. I could see him, doing a final match at Mania or something. Against who? Who knows? There's a lot of time before then. So yeah, like we said, we've got this. We got Forbidden Door this weekend. We've got Money in the Bank coming up another 2 weeks. Yeah.
No, next week.
Is it next week already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is next week already. The first, right?
Yep.
Yeah, much like last year. Okay, so we've got a busy couple weeks here. That should be a fun show. I guess we can possibly talk about it next week. We should, if we hopefully sometime next week we'll get a Money in the Bank preview up for you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. What does anybody else think in the chat besides JML? Thank you for helping us out. We appreciate it. Is anybody else saying anything? Not really. Okay. Anything else that you watched this week that you want to talk about? That's anything that happened on one of these shows? Anything else that stuck out to you?
No, I'm good.
I had something on my head, but I can't think of it right now. Yeah, for sure. But like we said, I'll be in Toronto this weekend, so wish me luck, guys. Hopefully we'll have a good time. If anybody's in the area. I see, Tim. Okay. We don't interrupt.
Comment or I'll kick you.
All of these comments. Let's see what else I can talk about here. Yeah, I mean, actually, I have my shirt, my Matt Cardona HOG champion shirt here, Indiana Jones. Nice. Did go to the show the other night. He defended the title against Carlito. Got to meet Carlito before the show. Cool guy, no pun intended. They had their match. It was with a bit of a dusty finish. He thought he won, and then he didn't, obviously. Yeah, speaking of which, we didn't even touch on Carlito. What about these rumors that he's re-signing?
Oh, there's rumors that he's re-signing?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear this. Yeah. Late last week, there was a talk that he supposedly canceled some indie bookings next month, saying he's signing with WWE. But after the show on Friday, he did cut a promo in the ring, was talking mostly in Spanish, but he said the rumors are true or something like that. So he didn't outright say it. So, but obviously he made that big cameo at Backlash during the Bad Bunny match. So yeah, if he's coming back, what do you see him doing? Are we putting him in the LWO? Is he starting his own thing?
LWO, definitely LWO.
Because they've getting kind of heavy-handed with it. I don't know if you noticed on SmackDown, they're kind of heavy-handed with Santos. The way he's talking about Ray, I love you, you're my friend. It just seems to me they're setting up for some sort of. I mean, they're making a lot of money on this merch right now. They're not doing anything. I don't know if I see. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if this is a long-term thing. Maybe they kick Ray out, take control over his faction that he stole from Eddie. But yeah. He wasn't the original. We didn't want to be in it. Yeah, I don't know. That was a hot rumor last week, around the time I was going to the show, but I haven't heard anything this week. So we'll see about that. Obviously, he's still in great shape. I saw him wrestle the other night. The guy looks in better shape than he was when he was in his prime. So shook my hand, strong handshake. Yeah, he can do it for sure. It was good to see him live again. It's been a while. I don't think it's probably been like 10 years since I've seen him live. So that was cool to see him. HOG's always has a fun show. A lot of young talent on there. Hopefully, some of these guys will be signed somewhere soon. There's some rumors about certain people. Their next show's coming up in August. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Alex Shelley was on the show again.
Nice.
So yeah, they already got next month. They've set up Charles Mason against Eddie Kingston, supposed to make his comeback to House of Glory. So that should be a fun match in a street fight. Yeah, we'll talk more about that closer to that. I'm not gonna give you guys a full review of an indie show I went to because I don't think anybody cares. But hey, if you're in New York area, you're looking for a cool local indie to go to, check out House of Glory. They're always in Queens. It's kind of filled the void since Evolve went under for me. Anything else in the chat? Jay Mill says he's gonna kick somebody. Don't super kick him. Make sure to slap the leg. Counterfeit bucks for sure. Or $1 Bill Phil. Maybe he's gonna fight Big Bill. I don't know. Definitely tired. Yeah, so should be a fun weekend. Everybody enjoy it. If anybody's actually going to the show, I don't think anybody's in the chat is, but if you are, come check out Forbidden Pour. I'll put a link in the chat later on. We're pretty much almost sold out. So if you want to go,
awesome.
Your ring. We're gonna have a fun day. And then I might fall asleep at Collision. Who knows? Punk's gonna talk, but maybe I don't know. He's probably gonna get booed. Like there's a lot of discussion, and will they boo him in Toronto? I know it's been a while since he's been in Toronto, so I don't know. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, guys. Thanks again for always supporting us in the chat. Yeah, we'll be back hopefully next week at some point when I get back.
Money in the Bank
across the border here, and then we got Money in the Bank coming up, and a lot of stuff coming up. Let's be honest. We got Money in the Bank coming up. We got SummerSlam right after that. There's NXT in there somewhere, and before you know, we've got All In, All Out. I mean, All In still not. We still don't know what it actually is, but it's happening. We'll see what happens. I think All Out in Chicago, or Chicago-ish, as I like to say, but MJF and Punk, title for title. We'll see.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, we are. No problem. Hey, if you want to do that, we'll make it happen. All right, guys. So we'll hopefully see you guys next week, and leave us a comment in the chat what you think later on, what you thought of the show. If you got anything else you want us to talk about, hopefully soon we'll get back on a regular routine. We'll do some retro shows again. Hopefully, we'll talk more about that then. So, on behalf of Charlie, good night. Thank you, and I don't know.
Yeah, nice sign off.
I don't know. I'm like Tony Khan. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, enjoy your week, guys. Thanks so much.
Take care. Thank you all.